Stephen, first of all, congratulations. Good way to start the Reserve Cup. How do you reflect on the game today?
Well, naturally you're pleased when you win, but I just felt, the intensity of our performance, I felt the standard of our play at times didn't, reach the levels that we did on Thursday night. Even though we ended up winning the game 3-1 tonight or this afternoon, and we only won 2-1 on Thursday. But I just felt, there was a few players 5 or 10% off it. There can be a slight, not mental issue of it, but when players play against a certain team and they beat them and they have to play against them 3 or 4 days later, they almost go into it a little bit relaxed and think, well, this might happen again. But you don't get that in football. You have to go and earn it. Dundee are a good side. They move the ball well. They pose you problems. They question your shape at times. They open you up, and there's loads of gaps in between your defensive and midfield line at times. So I just felt today that we encouraged them an awful lot. We didn't put the game to bed. We made opportunities almost similar to the Thursday night. So a little bit frustrated that I probably expected a little bit more. There were some players got opportunities to haven't played for a few weeks, so probably disappointed with some people. But ultimately for them, they'll have that momentum and winning games and getting that mental capacity of being able to win games when you're not at best, I suppose, is a good thing.
And then of course it was 2 boys coming off the bench. It certainly played their part, wasn't it? Jamie getting a goal, Alfie winning a penalty as well. Were you pleased with their impact on the game when they came on?
Well, that's what you have to do. You come off the bench as a sub. You don't just come off just to make up numbers. Probably too often in the past some players have come off and just went through the motions, but Alfie's getting better. He looks a little bit more. He looks a bit more self-belief about him. I felt as if he was a threat this afternoon. They were a bit leggy at the back because it's probably was a tough game. So there's spaces for him to go and exploit. So I just felt when he was 1v1, he posed some problems. He was running behind, and Jamie gets a great goal. We're trying to encourage people to get into the box and get across defenders and gamble, and you'll get goals. Don't hope the ball falls to you. Jamie, I felt, took the initiative. Great cross from James. James's first start back after 3 or 4 weeks out with an injury. So, yeah, pleased with Jamie and Alfie. Fair play to them. There's been times they haven't got on the pitch, times they've gone home frustrated. They've travelled up and down to games. They train ever so well. But today they got their moment, and I felt they took it.
And of course, you learned your fate in the Iron Brew Cup just before the game as well. What's your immediate reaction to that, Craigan?
Well, it's exciting. It's against a team we've never played against before. I actually know their manager, Jared Little. He used to be at Celtic as a kid. I'd been through the Northern Ireland setup with him. I spoke to him on Friday morning about Livingston because they'd played Livingston Colts. So he texted me this afternoon after the draw and said, do you know anything about Motherwell reserves? So we're having a bit of banter over the phone. Listen, it's going to be great. And without putting too much pressure on Paul, the groundsman, and Alan Burrows, the chief executive, I'm desperate for the game to be at Fir Park. I want the kids to have an opportunity to go and play. I know the fans will come out in their numbers. 2 years ago, I think we were nearly 1,000 against Edinburgh and almost 1,600 against Airdrie. So that's in the back burner. But it is nice to think that's on the horizon. The players have something to look forward to. I think they've earned the right to get through in the competition. An occasion for them where their families can come to Fir Park. And again, another test for us to see if they can cope mentally if playing against a team they've never played against. Can they cope against men? It's a competitive game. And can they cope with playing at Fir Park when there's a little bit of expectation on them? So that's the challenge we want as young players. That's why we enjoy this competition. But pleased today, and yes, we've got Sligo Rovers coming up. But as I say, we'll put it in the back burner.
Well, again, congratulations, Craigan.
Thanks very much. Cheers.